of mining. But is it really a modern-day gold rush, or is it just an incredibly expensive way to heat up your apartment? Let's dig in and figure it out. Okay, so let's start with the most basic question of all. We hear about Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies constantly, but where do they actually come from? I mean, how are new coins even born into this whole digital world? The answer, my friends, is mining. And no, it's not what you're thinking. We're not talking about pickaxes and shovels here. We're talking about raw computing power. Mining is the process that creates new coins, and just as importantly, it's the very backbone that keeps the entire system secure. Now, we're calling this the digital gold rush for a very good reason. Just like the old school prospectors, crypto miners are on the hunt for something incredibly valuable. The only real difference is that their tools aren't metal and wood, they're incredibly powerful computers. So what is it really? At its heart, you can think of crypto mining as a massive worldwide competition to solve a really, really complex math problem. Your computer crunches numbers on that puzzle, and if it's the very first one to find the solution, it gets the honor of updating the official ledger of all transactions. That's the blockchain. And for doing that work, you get a reward. Brand new crypto. Okay, but we have to be realistic here. This isn't like the good old days where you could mine a few Bitcoin on your laptop while watching a movie. No way. Today, it's a brutal global competition. You're going up against gigantic, specialized warehouses full of computers, which makes it incredibly tough for a regular person to compete without a serious strategy and the right equipment. And that brings us perfectly to your first, and you could argue, your most important decision. What kind of hardware are you going to use to join this digital gold rush? Seriously, the choice you make right here is going to define your entire mining adventure. At the center of this whole thing is what we call the mining rig. And listen, this is not your average desktop computer, not even close. It's a purpose-built machine, fine-tuned for one thing and one thing only, solving those math problems at lightning speed, 24/7, 7 days a week. It is the engine of your entire operation. So you've got a fundamental choice. On one side, you have these things called ASICs. Think of them as hyper-specialized machines. They're insanely powerful for mining one specific coin, like Bitcoin, but they are very expensive, and that's literally all they can do. On the other side, you've got GPU rigs, which use the very same graphics cards that gamers are obsessed with. These are way more flexible, and you can even build one yourself. And this right here is what a typical homemade rig looks like. See that open-air frame? That's not just to look cool and high-tech. Those GPUs generate an incredible amount of heat when they're working hard, so having really good airflow is absolutely essential to keep them from, well, melting. Okay, so you've agonized over it, and you finally picked your hardware. The next giant question is, what are you actually going to mine with it? And this isn't some random guess. The hardware you just chose, whether it's that powerhouse ASIC or that flexible GPU rig, directly points you to which cryptocurrencies you can even hope to mine profitably. This little table really breaks it down. See, coins like Bitcoin and Dogecoin, they're totally dominated by those powerful ASIC miners, which means the competition is just insane. But then you have coins like Monero and Ravencoin, which are designed to be ASIC resistant. That means they're actually better suited for mining with regular computer parts, which kind of levels the playing field for the little guy. And that special phrase, ASIC resistance, is the key. The math problems for these coins are specifically designed to need a lot of computer memory, not just raw speed. This gives a huge advantage to general-purpose hardware like GPUs and makes those super specialized ASICs way less effective. It's a feature that's literally there to try and keep mining decentralized and accessible to everyone. All right, you've got your gear, you've picked your target coin. Now you've got a big strategic decision to make. Are you going to try to strike digital gold all by your lonesome, or are you going to team up? This quote from the CUDA Miner's Guide really just says it all. The chances of a single miner all alone solving one of these complex problems on a major network, well, they're basically zero. But if you team up, you become part of something much, much bigger and way more effective. For pretty much everyone starting out, joining a mining pool is absolutely the way to go. You combine your computer's power with thousands of other miners around the world. This dramatically increases the odds of your group solving a block and earning that reward. Sure, you only get a tiny slice of the pie, but you'll get those slices much more often. It's really the difference between buying one lottery ticket a year and getting a small but steady paycheck. So, this all leads us to the one question that is on everybody's mind. Can you actually make money doing this? Let's get to the bottom line. Now, before you start daydreaming about your digital fortune, you have to remember that mining has very real costs. First, there's the hardware itself, which can set you back thousands of dollars. Then you have the silent killer, the electricity bill. These machines are incredibly power hungry and they run all day, every day. Tack on small fees for the mining pool and the absolutely wild price swings of crypto, and you'll see pretty quickly that profit is never ever guaranteed. And just to give you a sense of scale, a sense of the competition, get this. According to Investopedia, if you wanted to match the mining power of just one of the top Bitcoin mining pools, you would need to spend over $6.4 billion on hardware. Yeah, that's who you're competing against. You have to understand that this is a long game. Let's take an example. A pretty powerful DIY rig might cost you $8,000. Even if you're lucky and you're earning a few dollars every day after electricity costs, it could still take you over 5 years just to break even. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But hey, let's say you did it. You put in the work, you set up your rig, you joined a pool, and you've actually started to stack up some cryptocurrency. Your journey isn't over, not by a long shot. In fact, a really important and annoying part is just about to begin. That's right, the part that nobody likes to talk about, but every single person has to deal with it. Taxes. And trust me, this is not a step you can skip. The rule here is simple, and it's completely unforgiving. The exact moment that crypto reward lands in your wallet, the IRS sees it as ordinary income. You're taxed on its fair market value in US dollars at that precise second. It doesn't matter if you sell it or hold it. So keeping detailed, meticulous records is absolutely critical. So after all that, is crypto mining worth it? Well, that really depends on what you're looking for. Is it a hobby, a side hustle, or a full-blown business? The answer is different for everyone, and it comes down to your investment, your strategy, and frankly, your stomach for risk. The digital gold rush is far from over, but all the easy gold is long gone. The real question is, are you willing to do the hard work to find whatever's left?